Okay, so I put in that sheeny part of the water on the shoreline. Might be a little bit light, but it's in the ballpark. You know, I haven't attempted to really mute it there. I'll just lay this base down, then later on we'll come back and over the top of that add some orange and more neutral colours up the top end. But generally, I think I'm kind of, you know, if I look from there to there, I think it sort of looks roughly right. Remember, this is a block-in stage. I just want to show you why this is such a tricky painting. I've got some, I'll show you some of the paintings we did earlier on. These are the little ones I completed. So look, my painted version. That's Yelling Up North. And there it is reduced to grayscale. So just black and white. I'll tell you something about this. There's very clear delineation of lights and darks. Relatively light, quite dark, light, quite dark, light, quite dark, light, quite dark. So, you know, it's very, you know, dark ridge, light beach, very light waves, dark ocean, and so on. This is another one I did. This is the second group, Yelling Up South, looking towards the lagoon. Again, same deal. Light, dark, light waves, dark ocean, light beach, dark ridge. So, you know, very strong delineations. Here's our photo here. And now, you know, I've been rabbiting on about value or tonal value. So I'm just going to say a bit more about it. But see that when we reduce that to a black and white, there's, you know, there's none of that big dark ridge. Okay, there are a couple of dark bits in here, but in terms of here, it's, you know, even these really bright orangey rays of light tonally are not much different from the cloud behind them. So this is a more difficult painting. It's a more difficult painting. I felt, you know, I couldn't keep running classes showing people how to do dogs on beaches. So I've gone to something quite a bit more difficult. And this is our value scale. Normally it's in a 9-part scale. So it goes from white to black. And because it's 9, it's got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 5. And then 6, 7, 8, and 9. So it's got the two extremes, white and black, and then it's got 5 as a mid-tone, and then typically your highlights will be 2, 3, and 4, and your shadows will be 6, 7, and 8. I would put it to you that a lot of our painting is in this sort of range, 5, 6, and 7. Oops, lost my way a bit there. So, yeah. These are not, we're nowhere near black here. We're nowhere near the most, maybe getting towards an 8, but a lot of this is 5, 6s, and 7. So it's inherently a more difficult painting than something like this, which we can just put in, you know, nice light beaches, dark ridge, dark water, white waves, light ocean, and the whole thing kind of comes together quite nicely. So yeah, I've lost a little bit of sleep about this. You know, is it doable? And I guess, you know, my job is to make sure it is. So we're going to have a go at this bit now, which, as we said before, is an orangey colour. So we're going red, yellow, orange, and red to here. So orange is, we've already got this sort of mix here. So orange is partway between yellow and red. So we've got a yellow, cadmium yellow. Again, I can take that from the departure lounge and drop a bit more red in this time to... Now, obviously, this doesn't have a lot of saturation in it, this beach. So we're just sort of generally going to put it into there, but we're going to have to desaturate this colour quite a bit because, you know, it's nothing like that. Okay, so we're going to use Old Mate Burnt Umber to just darken a little bit. And you'll notice I'll add a little bit of liquid just to keep things flowing as soon as it starts to clog up. So I've got that. It's a bit too yellowy brown. So now I'm going to use the black. And because I've got the black on that departure lounge, it's quite easy to grab it. You can see I'm not creating these huge globs of yellow, of black, sorry, that are coming into my paint. So let's just have a look at this and see where we are. Oh, wow. I know sometimes I'm sort of, I'm surprised. It's not like I'm faking it. I quite often don't really have a feel for, where it's going to land. Look, I think in the absence of of a lot of mucking around, that is not too bad. So you saw what I did to mix that particular colour. I used cadmium yellow and cadmium red, which kind of bring it together. The red and the yellow bring it into the middle if we've got a 50-50 mix to an orange. And then I've desaturated it with a bit of burnt umber, and more importantly, the lamp black. That's kind of brought it right back. And then I've, I might have had a little bit of white in there just to as a base to mix into, just to give me a bit of paint to work with. And I think that's pretty much how I'm going to do it. So I'll leave you with that for the moment. You've seen the sort of colour that I've got, and you've got your own image. And I think, I'm sorry, that we, could be a little bit darker, but generally it's going to give us a reasonable starting point. Okay, so I'll finish this little bit now, and I'll block that in, and you'll see that in the next video, at which point that I'll come and have a go at the rocks.